What is going on, Movie Mails? Movie Mails, by the time you see this video, Kyle and I will physically be near each other.
We'll be in the same room together.
We will be, but this will be scheduled out. We're here for our top 10 movies of 2024.
Let's go.
Yeah, this is an interesting list. Before we get into the name of my patrons, Kimberly, Karen, go get some merch. Help us get to 2,000. We're super close. We're going to give away a hoodie to somebody who's been liking, subscribing, and commenting still, no matter what, because we've been promising it. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. I've seen a couple people put out their lists. Some critics I like. They're putting movies out from 2023. They're putting movies out from 2024. I saw somebody who put a movie out that got nominated for last year's Academy Awards. They don't count. They don't count. They do not count. There's one movie.
I mean, I guess between, all the strikes and pandemic stuff and reshuffling, maybe they forgot or something. I don't know. Anything. Yeah.
There's one movie that kind of, I guess, counts for this year that's been on my list for a long time. And I would have made more of an effort to watch it. I just assumed it didn't count.
The release years on Letterbox, I know, can get wonky sometimes, because I know like one or two of my movies have like last year's date on Letterbox, but I looked on Google and they said they released this year.
I looked at your list.
One of them did. You can't see my list.
I looked at your list you public. You made a big deal in the last video about it. So I can't see that list. I'm not talking about whatever list you're thinking of is the incorrect list. You said you put out a little list of just movies in 2024.
Yeah, that I watched. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at that list, and you did have movies on there that do not count for this year. Like you had
they came out this year.
But you had what was the great movie that came out last year? Got nominated for a bunch of stuff that came out.
You're talking about American Fiction. Fiction
doesn't count.
Yeah.
Can't put it on this list. If you got it on there, Kyle, you better get it out. Doesn't count.
All right, I'm getting it out right now. Don't you worry.
10?
How do I get this out of here?
It was on your top 10 list?
No, it's not on my top 10 list.
I was going to say, it was on your top 10 list last year.
Yeah. That sounds right. I'll figure out how to get it off this
But
thing.
I've seen some people put some stuff that just makes no sense to me.
Well, some people just like to make their list how they like to make their list. We've been doing these lists for years. You know how our rules aren't the same as everyone else's rules.
I wouldn't be shocked if the movie I've been seeing people put on their list, or I saw somebody put on their list that's been driving me nuts, is on your list. If I hit it, it's one of your little hidey hole movies.
I don't think I have hidey hole movies. Not this time.
What's crazy is I saw this movie be on people's list. It's been on my watch list for like a year and a half because it came out so long ago. But anyway, let's get to what the people want here. My list is going to be interesting because a ton of the Oscar nom movies that are all in contention I haven't seen. Sing Sing came to Philly when I was home where it wasn't. Nickel Boys I just didn't get a chance to see at the festival. Officially, Nickel Boys, it sounds like will release this following week, which is annoying because I wanted to see it by now. Movies like Emily Perez, I just haven't gotten a chance to sit down and watch it. I'm sure made it onto Kyle's list. There's other movies too that just have skated Real Pain. I just didn't get a chance to see when it came out here. I tried to catch up and watch. I don't condone it, but I even looked at some sites you're not supposed to see if I couldn't find some of these films, like the old days.
I won't tell.
I remember that's how I watched Room. I wanted to see Room so bad with Brie Larson because it was such a big contender that year.
Yeah,
but
it was.
Anyway, let's get into it. My list is just going to be a lot more free-flowing and fun since I've missed a lot of these movies.
Okay.
I'm changing it as we speak. So, Kyle, why don't you go ahead, give me a quick rundown of your honorable mentions and what's your number 10?
Yeah, a few honorable mentions. I have quite a few here. I'll just rattle through them real quick for you. We got Monkey Man, Love Lies Bleeding, We Live in Time, The Wild Robot, Kneecap, Inside Out 2, Long Legs, and Twisters.
Stop.
Putting it on the list. I hear the keyboard.
No. I'm adding because this year I usually average between 70 to 80 movies in the theater, and I had a big dip this year. I only got into 50, 54, and I forgot about We Live in Time. I missed it when I was making my list, so I threw it on here real quick. But We Live in Time wouldn't be a contender for me.
Okay.
Great movie though.
Yeah, it's nice.
So what's your number 10?
My number 10 is The Beast from Bertrand Bonello. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. But I think I mentioned it on 1 or 2 episodes ago of our podcast. I found the movie to be very intriguing, just because of its themes of love and exploration of love, how it changes throughout time, essentially. And it kind of feels like a sci-fi thriller, timey-wimey sort of movie, but it becomes very engaging, despite the runtime and the pacing could seem like a challenge for people. I still was able to be very engaged with it, and I'm able to still think about the movie. So it had a strong impact on me. So nice. I put that at number 10.
I narrowed it down to what I call the contenders, is what I do every year. I got my contenders. And I had 19 contenders this year. So my honorable mentions I'll quickly rattle off for that all 9, right. the little extra 9. In no particular order. Wicked, Inside Out 2, Smile 2, Alien Romulus, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Civil War, Challengers, Gladiator 2, and The Wild Robot. All not making the list. And my number 10, are you kidding me? And it's not Twisters, baby. Number 10, Sonic 3. Gotta go fast. We're going fast. I'm not kidding. Sonic 3. This made my little hearts. I riled the dog up. This movie is by far the best of the 3. It spoke to my Sonic loving heart. I played all the games, Heroes, Rivals. Man, get me on some Riders. Give me Sonic Riders. You kidding me? That Babylon level in Sonic Riders, if you know, you know. It's hard. That's a hard level to beat. Still, to this day, I don't think we've beaten it. And I was looking at these other animated movies, and I was like, at the end of the day, I might think The Wild Robot might overall be a better movie, but Sonic 3 made a bigger impact on me. I loved it. So Sonic 3 getting in the top 10. Hey, when you don't see a real pain, when you don't see all these movies, you get some chances to sneak some deserving cinema in there, okay? It's called peak. All right.
Hey, they should have gone to us sooner.
True. What's your number 9?
My number 9 is A Different Man, which became more of one of the funniest comedies of the year to me, even though it's more of like a dark comedy.
Yeah, I didn't laugh a lot.
Drama comedy. I don't know. I had a good time with it, just seeing the main character go through wanting to be a better version of himself, and just being able to see that better version of himself in front of him as he's trying to navigate through being what he thought he always wanted to be. And it's just a terrific performance being led by Sebastian Stan. And I also do want to double check if I got the guy's name right. Adam Pearson, who stars opposite of him, is also just terrific in the movie too. So just a very great performances by those two, and a very interesting movie. One of the more interesting ones of the year to me. So I choose that one.
Fair enough. My number 9 is my future occupation here. Let's get twisted. All right, twisted. Ain't no love in Oklahoma. Twisters was the summer movie of the summer. You kidding me? Get out of the way, everything else. I freaking loved Twisters, so I put Twisters at number 9 because it's just pure adrenaline. I've watched it twice so far this year. Had a blast both times. It's awesome. Twisters it is. Kyle, what's your number 8?
Number 8 is Problemista, which is another great comedy and a big surprise from this year for me. Julio Torres, that directed and wrote this movie, really popped off to me as a filmmaker, so I'm curious to see more of his work. And I think it just has great themes that are made in a very visually interesting and very funny sort of way, but it's really all hinges by Tilda Swinton's performance, which is easily one of the best performances of the year, in my opinion. She is aggravating, but in a terrific way that is entertaining.
You're really going for the savant this year. You're really just trying to make me look bad. Well, I have all these art house films on my list, and Alex is over here twisting around, running at sonic speed, baby. Are you kidding me?
Hey, you always were the fun one. What could I say? Why would I try to intervene?
Yeah. I just want to seem smart over here. Got the glasses on and everything.
Oh yeah, you're right.
My number 8's A Different Man. I saw it 2 days ago. I watched a bunch of movies back to back. I watched A Different Man. I rented The Outrun. I watched Sasquatch Sunset finally. I watched some of those movies. And A Different Man I really loved. This was the year for great body horror-esque style scenes. There's a scene in this movie that's not horror, but it's just like it's horror. If you've seen the movie, you get what I'm talking about, and it's brutal in a real way. I didn't laugh very much. I myself personally did not describe it much as a comedy.
Okay.
Compared to Awkward Situations, I don't know if that's what they put on IMDb. Great. I still loved it. I thought Sebastian Stan was great. I thought it was a story that needed to be told. I really, really liked it. So I went with A Different Man. What do you got at number 7?
Number 7 for me is Conclave.
Didn't make my list.
Great performance at the top by Ralph Fiennes, and I just really like that it kind of navigates almost the political landscape in a strange way that we were kind of going through these past few years, but it's being done through the Vatican, being done through a place of worship, but yet at the end of the day, you still have, the gossip, the sketchiness, the gossip, the ugliness of like gossip. Politics in a sense. So it is a very gossip heavy type movie, but it became a very intriguing one and a fun watch in the theater. So
politics is really just the adult word of gossip at the end of the day. Like charcuterie is the adult word of a Lunchable. Like I like that comparison. It's gossip. Okay. Conclave, I should point out, like movies like Longlegs, Conclave, and A Complete Unknown. I also probably should have tossed in my honorable mentions because I really loved all 3 of those movies and they ended up not making my list. But I did really enjoy them. My number 7 is The Brutalist. I loved it. It has stuck with me longer and longer. Boy, it is long. But I'm not the biggest fan of what's his face? Why did his name Adrian Brody? I'm not the biggest fan of his movies overall, and him as a guy. He's kind of a weird dude at times.
He's an artiste.
Kissing Halle Berry, inappropriate and weird. But I loved the movie. And I really loved Felicity Jones. I think she is a lock to get a nom when this movie finally hits the mass audiences. I loved it. It has stuck with me a lot, and there are a lot of sweeping shots. They made it for cheap. I really, really liked it. So my number 7 is The Brutalist.
Terrific.
What's your number 6?
I'll be more fun here now. I'm going to have Furiosa. Furiosa is my number 6.
Me? Freaking 2, baby!
Yes! Let's go!
Kyle, let's get on Fury Road right now, baby. Come on, I bet there's a twister out there. Something twist. I love it. Every year the goal is for come out have a movie that lines up with the same number. And last year, I don't think we did. I think it was the first year we didn't. And we're back.
That might be right.
This just shows that Superman saved Kyle, and he's not as grumpy as we all have thought this year.
2025 Kyle's coming back.
Anyway, sorry, excuse me. I burped into the mic during that. Let's go. Go ahead, right. Kyle. Furiosa.
I threw up with excitement.
Oh, God.
But no, I think in terms of box office spectacle and like a sweeping Odyssey adventure that just takes you for a ride, I think Furiosa is one of the few that came out this year that really stood out in a big way to me in terms of doing that. I had a great time. I was able to watch it in IMAX, and it just reminded me of what was good about Mad Max Fury Road, but I also appreciated the changes that they made to make this almost a more story heavy type of Odyssey, like I said before. So anyway, Chris Hemsworth, great character actor role for him. I wish he was getting more love as we get more towards like the Academy Awards.
This
but
movie
Furiosa
overall
in general
was getting more
exactly.
love. Yeah.
A lot more people need to watch it, check it out. That's crazy for me to say over a Mad Max movie, but here we are. But I think even for like a prequel, it was a great story, and I think it just continues on George Miller just being such a great visionary director, especially with the Mad Max saga. So anyway, Alex, take it away from there.
Well, I agree. I had Furiosa at 6 too. I loved it. As soon as I saw it on the list, I was like, "Dang, Furiosa really was that good." I loved Furiosa a lot. I agree with everything Kyle said. There's no point to even continue here. Let's just move on to that top 5. All right, top 5, baby. Top 5, Kyle. What do you got? This is a big deal. Kyle goes back and looks at his lists in disgust a lot.
I do.
So his top 5 matters. Me?
It does.
I haven't looked at a list in 10 years. If it doesn't say Sonic, I ain't looking. That's not true. We reviewed it for there's a podcast app. We reviewed all our old lists and we went through some stuff.
That was fun.
That was fun. I don't remember anything about what we talked about, but
it was a long time ago. It's okay.
All right, Kyle, what you got at number 5?
All right, I do have to go back to being less fun now. But this movie's really great.
Here's a French film that I saw.
No,
it's from 1852.
No, not that wouldn't count then, Al. You know the rules of this. I saw The TV Glow, a movie that explores
I had a feeling.
Kind of the loss of identity or just trying to find your true self. And I think it does it in a very brilliant way in terms of using it through how we perceive entertainment, especially for, I don't know, maybe not especially, but at least for like the 90s kids or like the 2000s kids growing up with the likes of Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark? And we just have such strong, we just have shows that help bring out like our personality or our sense of identity. And I think it just intermingles like the use of entertainment. Exactly. Dragon Tales is why
weird math show you watched back in the day on PBS was.
Oh, it was Cyber Chase, not a weird
Cyber Chase. If you're not talking the Scooby-Doo one, I ain't chasing. Okay. If you're not Tornado or you're not the Scooby-Doo movie, I ain't coming. All right.
Or maybe it was Cyberspace. I don't know. Whatever it was.
Cyberspace.
At any rate, I thought the movie was creative, but it's also very devastating, very emotional. But I thought that it was a very impressive movie. So that's at my number 5. I saw The TV Glow.
My number 5 was the Haikyuu dumpster battle movie, baby. You anime fans know that this was an absolute banger. This movie was awesome. I kept looking. I was like, all these animated movies are so good. We had a lot of good animated movies this year. Some I didn't even get a chance to see, like that snail movie I really still want to see, whose full title escapes me.
Memoir of a Snail.
Haikyuu is a great manga. It's a great show. They're ending it with movies. The movie paid off. It was awesome. They put an after credit scene in there just to get you real hyped. They go full Marvel. It's awesome. I had to put it in my top 5 because I kept thinking about all these animated movies, and I was like, it's at the end of the day, it's Haikyuu. It's probably my brother's number 1 of the year, and then he'll sit there and he'll critique the fact that I didn't have blue on my list. And I hope you're watching, Nick. And if you do, text me a little blue.
Any essays, go check out his channel.
Haikyuu had to be on here. The movie was awesome. It was awesome.
Nice.
All right, nice. Kyle, what's your number 4? I have a weird suspicion we might. Let's see.
My number 4 is The Substance.
What?
Yes, we're so back, Al. We're so back,
baby. We never left. What are you talking about? Sorry, we
How
left
about you
because
start?
we were chasing torn. No, I refuse. Don't try to flip it on me. Don't try to flip it on me.
I'm throwing you a bone.
Kyle. We've been doing this over 10 years, weirdly enough, and no one has ever cared about my opinion over yours. Please go ahead.
The Substance rules. The Substance rules. Body horror, drama, comedy, almost camp in some regards. But I think it's just a very smart movie that highlights insecurity, body insecurity, but also the fleeting sense of fame, the fleeting sense of not wanting to grow old, of wanting to return to being young, and also just if you could go back to being young, like would you change anything or would you still remain the same course you always did do? So just somehow a lot of themes throwing into this movie, but they all just feel so sharp and they all feel so layered, and it's just very impressive movie. I keep saying that a lot for a lot of these, obviously, but The Substance was definitely a blast to watch in the theater too. I just wasn't expecting what I saw. Yeah.
You know, I will say the words Kyle refuses to speak about the Wild Robot. I do regret not getting a chance to see it in the theater. I wish I would have gone. I wish I would have made more of an effort. Okay, I wish I would have. I actually think when did The Substance come out? Was it October?
August or September, I think.
I think it was right around. It was either start of school or my family was visiting, and then it just came and went quick, or when it came back, it was playing in the city. It was harder to get into, but I finally, a real pain came when I was home. But The Substance, you know, for the last few years, every new horror movie, people are like, "Oh man, horror's back." My guy, horror's been here for the last 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Are you kidding me? We've had such original, great horror. When you think of movies like Talk to Me from a couple years ago, like Talk to Me, original, new, unique. And then we get these movies, Long Legs, which is very much playing off the spirit of the Zodiac and Silence of the Lambs. You get The Substance, which is playing a lot off of The Fly and these body horror movies. Yeah. And putting a new twist and a new story and a new creative idea. I mean, that's called original movies. Original movies are there, people. You're just not going to see them because you go to 4 movies a year and you want them to be the big blockbusters because you don't have a brain cell to really think more outside the box. And this is coming from the guy that has Sonic 3 and Twisters on his list, buddy boy. I'm fired up tonight. I've been excited to make this video with Kyle. I blocked my
He's
whole
been waiting
day
on
off.
me because I was traveling.
I literally blocked my whole day off and just was like, Kyle, whenever you're ready, boo-boo. Well, then I have to get up at 3 a.m. to fly to see this guy and for other things. But The Substance,
he's always doing a lot for me.
It's true. The Substance is just great. It is. This was the year of horror. Long Legs, Substance. There's so many good movies that came out in horror this year. So, all right, Kyle, the top 3. What you got? Number 3.
I got Nora.
Boo!
That's my number 3.
Boo! Put it higher. Put it higher.
No, top 3 was hard,
I can
man.
Guess your 2. I know what your next 2 are. Not even a contest.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to be very surprising coming from me. Nora's terrific. For Sean Baker, I've loved watching his work over the years, and I just love seeing how he takes not necessarily real world situations in a sense, but also just making the characters feel real world and lived in, and then you're still able to want to go for the ride and just watching their journeys, even if you know their journeys aren't going to be having like a happy ending necessarily, especially the case with Nora. But I just think like he is creative in like talking about lower class situations. I think he's creative with the way he directs his movies. And Mikey Madison has a terrific lead role in this movie, but everyone also in the movie
for the Academy Award.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see that for sure.
Front runner.
But anyway, just to sum it up, Sean Baker is still killing it, doing what he's doing. I think Nora is easily one of his best movies and easily one of the best movies of the year. I have to put it in my top 3.
My number 3 is not Nora. I'm going to try to say the title of this movie the way one of the characters in the movie does. Ready? Nosferatu, baby.
I couldn't watch it in time.
Last night. And maybe it's recency biased, or maybe it's that this is Al's type of horror movie. And boy, it was. There were some scenes in this movie that I was like, yes, baby, yes. Okay, so last 2 nights, I saw Complete Unknown on Thursday, and then yesterday I saw Nosferatu. And the idea and the narrative for a lot of people for months has been that Timothy will be in competition, if not leading for the Academy Award. And I don't necessarily disagree with all that. I think he's going to get buzz. I think it's deserved. I think he's great as Bobby Dylan. But the moment I saw Bill Skarsgård as Nosferatu, I was like, how? Like, he's not going to get a nom. He's not even going to get a mention. But he is so dang good. This movie's awesome. It's awesome.
Can't wait.
I went with Autumn. She had just read the Dracula book. And I know you've seen the 30s film, right?
Yeah,
Kyle?
yeah.
This is a remake of the 30s film. It is not an adaptation of the book. However, the 30s film is an adaptation of the book illegally because they change a bunch of names. Okay. I was reading up about it last night. It's wild. They tried to obliterate that movie from existence, and they almost made it happen. But yeah, so look, I didn't read the book. Why? She was telling me that it happened, the book events of Dracula and the Nosferatu story are very similar, but there are some things that changed. I think everybody in it is a masterclass. I loved the idea and the story. I love the direction they went. I think it is crazy, though. It's my type of weird, great horror. Eggers is literally up there with Denis Villeneuve. I want to see what he does next. I just want to desperately see what he does next. There's a shot in this movie that was so breathtaking. I was like, I kind of want to make that my desktop background. It was so beautiful. The shots. You go watch this movie you have to see this movie in the theater. You have to. You have to run right now. Kyle, get up. Go.
Oh, sorry.
Go. Nosferatu. It very well could sit in the back of my head and work its way up to 2 or 1 on this list.
That's big
loved Nosferatu. I loved it. Loved it. I thought it was brilliant. Kyle, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Challengers. I think Luca Guadagnino did a great job with making something like tennis interesting for more people outside of like the sport.
Kyle,
this should not be as surprising.
Stop. Kyle, redo that sentence. Let me autocorrect for you. Thank you to him for getting Kyle to pick up a racket and go play tennis himself.
That's true.
Kyle's been talking about tennis for like 6 months since then. He's like, I really like tennis.
I like tennis now.
I'd love to play tennis with you too. I'll hold the ball and the racket in a very subtle position that only you will understand.
I'll be looking. I'll be looking.
Continue.
But no, I think it does it in a very interesting way, and I think it plays into what the movie is striving for this love triangle that is half competitive and half of just a traditional love triangle. But I think that in terms of the cinematography and the direction, it makes it very thrilling and very engaging. And I think the script is also smart to where all 3 of these lead actors are easily giving like some of the best performances of the year. I wish this movie could get more love in general as we get into the awards, but for the 3 lead actors, they just were able to chew up the scenery as terrifically as anyone could for this movie, and rightfully so, because this is such heavy in the performances with the glances and the way that they're thinking about how to play off of the other person in a manner of speaking. So just a very creative movie, and just one of the more engaging ones in terms of like direction and cinematography that I saw this year. And maybe pick up a racket. So why not throw it at number 2?
Fair enough. My number 2 is Anora. The moment I saw Anora, my first thought was, is this my favorite movie of the year? And it didn't end up making it, but boy, I could flip-flop all 3 of these movies at top 3, and I would be okay with it. I loved Anora. Look, Anora has everything you want. I mean, it is slapstick, old school Groucho Marx comedy at times. It is. Yeah. And then it gets incredibly serious. It gets incredibly dark. And then it gets funny again. And it's not funny in a way like some other movies can kind of be as a dark comedy where you're kind of laughing out of awkwardness. You're laughing because it's genuinely funny. I mean, I was belly laughing. This movie is amazing. I think Mickey is the clear front runner for the Academy Award. I think it's not even close right now. In fact, after seeing look, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, Real Pain. There's a lot of movies I haven't seen that I wanted to and meant to. But I think right now this Oscar race is wide open, other than Mickey as the clear front runner to me.
Yeah.
I adore this movie. I wish I could see it again. I almost went one day by myself. I was like, I just kind of want to go, and then it just didn't happen. But I loved Honora. All right,
Terrific
Kyle.
movie.
Should we do? Let's count it down. We say it at the same time. You ready?
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1, go, and then we'll say it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Dune
Part 2. 3 for 3, baby. 3 for 3. We got 3 on the same list. We got 3 on the same list.
We got 3 on the same.
I'm gonna go first this time. I'm gonna flip the script.
Go for it.
When Honora came out, I put it like, is this maybe my favorite movie of the year? This might be the best movie of the year. And immediately everybody in our little group chat was like, excuse me, have you not seen Dune Part 2? My guy, I went 3 times, okay? Yeah, I've seen Dune Part 2. But the more I did think, and I was just coming out of the theater. I mean, Honora is that good. I think I could put Honora at 1 great. But Dune Part 2 really is that good. After seeing, I really was torn on what I was going to put at 1 or 2 until I saw A Complete Unknown. And then we were talking about the movie on the drive home, and we were just talking about like Timothy. The conversation eventually just led towards just Timothy in general and some of his other roles as per usual. And I've turned a complete leaf on Timothy. I went from really not thinking he was showing us as much as I wanted to really loving what he was showing from Dune 1 and then Dune 2 even more. And I think he just showed that he can do more than be the kind of the whiny a-hole. And Dune is that movie, man. Dune is that movie. I mean, he is awesome. Everything is in it is awesome. The fact that it's not nominated for score is absurd. I hope it gets nominations still. And honestly, Timothy deserves a nomination for Dune, let alone A Complete Unknown, which I think he could also get a nom for. So I loved it. Dune Part 2 is amazing. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Dune Part 2 steps up his game from Dune 1, and that's saying something because Dune 1 is great. But I think it steps up his game because, I don't know, it just feels like there's more.
There's guns.
There's war, there's guns, there's love, but at the same time, with heavy, there's Florence Pugh, but with the movie feeling heavy dramatically and feeling heavy in terms of world building, I feel like at the very least, Dune Part 1 does a lot of the table setting, and then Dune 2 is able to deliver a lot more off of that, which I think makes for a very riveting, more riveting movie to watch. But at the same time, I think it's also great for the masses. I was able to see this one in IMAX, one of my few IMAX experiences that I got to see this year.
Amen.
And I was very surprised because it's just a wide spread of people who I wouldn't think would necessarily love like heavy sci-fi or would love, such meaty material. But at the end of the day, they came away finding something to love about this movie. It seemed like there's even moments of comedy or even just side characters that are able to pop or have a bit of their own time to be able to not relate to, but at least appreciate them, seeing them on screen. And I just think it's just such a great build of a movie to where you liked the climax of the ending. You probably love the climax of the ending, but you also can feel that not everything... you see that not everything works out the way that it's supposed to, but you're not disappointed that it's not a happy ending either. And I think that's just a very terrific job by Denis Villeneuve to make this translation from book to film be so engaging that you still want to stick around, even if you still feel icky about how things are going to be transpiring. And so, yeah, just the sci-fi elements are terrifically shot and well done and riveting and engaging, and the characters are great. The actors did a fantastic job. Cinematography's gorgeous, music's gorgeous. Easily one of the best movie watching experiences of the year. It's number one, Dune Part 2.
And it has the weird, not the weird, but the obvious comparisons to Star Wars. But at the end of the day, because for years all you hear is, this is this franchise's empire. This is this franchise. This is the only thing I think that's actually maybe earned that sentence. Like Dune Part 2 really is Empire Strikes Back compared to the first one. The first one's great. It's awesome. And the second one is even better. And it's just great. We had 3 similar movies this year after last year not having any.
That's a good sign.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Helps when we don't see a bunch of the big films.
You mean for the awards contention? Probably.
They always compete in our top 10 there, buddy boy.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true then.
They always compete.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about you, but this year felt unusual to me, and like
it is an unusual year.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's not one that I'm complaining about. I liked some seeing things like, Long Lakes, for example, or Challengers, for example, like popping off as well as they did. So maybe that was part of it. Just felt like a year where a lot more was on the table for us.
It's just, yeah, it's different. It's different when there's not a year where you really rally behind a movie or two.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are rallying behind Dune for sure, but like, when you think of Everything Everywhere All at Once and like the momentum and how you watch it and you're like, I get it. This movie's amazing. Everybody has seen it weirdly, and it's like, I get it. Also, I've been bringing it up all the time, but let's not forget back in March, April, May, theaters were dead. Okay. This was a dying industry.
Oh, it's over. Yeah.
It was over. It was over. And it wasn't just the wackos saying it this time. It was Hollywood Reporter writing articles, Variety. It was all these big major companies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Both my theaters last 2 nights packed.
Mm-hmm.
Most people I've seen in a while. Okay. People want to go to the theater. And sometimes people are, look, people have gotten obnoxious in the movie theaters. That has become a problem.
Yeah.
Happened very briefly in Nosferatu. Okay.
Oh, that stinks.
Didn't happen in A Complete Unknown, though. But, all the people in Complete Unknown were about Bob Dylan's age, so.
Yeah. They
might have been asleep.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Top 10 of the year, baby. Are you kidding me? What a great year, hey.
Yeah.
Go watch Nosferatu, man.
Yeah, that's going to be my first
going
one.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow or Monday before I fly out. Yeah.
Good man.
Yep.
All right, guys, what do you think of our video? Comment below, let us know. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks for watching, man.
See you guys.